but I'm saying that's what women are. That's the pushback that women are saying. Like, it doesn't matter what I do. Like, I should still be treated with respect. You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah, of course. But I think it probably would be the same thing for women. I mean, for men. Like, that's almost like saying just because I have all gold teeth top and bottom with multiple chains and my pants sagging, don't you think I'm a thug? You know, and it's just like, well, we don't know, or don't you think I'm out here on the street? So I think perception, implicit bias, all of that stuff, like, we automatically come with, and it's just, that's just the reality of it. So it's carry the way that you want to be seen, or carry the way that you want to be treated. But at the end of the day, your appearance can sometimes teach people how to treat you, or, you know, until they have a conversation with you, then they're gonna, you know, that also teaches them how to treat you. But if a person judging a book by its cover, we already know, like, we learned that in like second grade. Like,
yeah. And dare I say, in this space, when we are talking about social justice, right? In this current climate, when we're talking about social justice, and we're talking about protect Black women, and we're talking about trust Black women, and we're talking about locking up the race soldiers that murdered Breonna Taylor. And we're talking about Kamala Harris, who is the first ever she's the VP nominee for the Democratic Party. We'll get to Kamala, but is this the right song for this time in this moment? Because it's like Black men and women are trying to uplift, because of Sandra, we're trying to uplift the image of Black women, and stuff like that. And then we got a jam that's number one. Talk about there's some hoes in this house. Huh?
How about the music that Black men are making? It goes both ways.
I don't like that argument. We talk about WAP right now.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're gonna talk about one, talk about all. Y'all.
Yes, but guess what?
If that song wasn't as hype as it is, y'all really wouldn't be mad right now.
No. Do you think I disliked the video?
Listen.
Do you really think that I sat up there and said, this is disgusting. I can't believe this Malone. You really think I watched that video like that?
He was just like that. Look at that video. Look how close
I was like this. There was some chips.
I didn't listen to that shit. I was not watching it like that. You think I was offended? No, I'm not offended.
But I'm saying that's what women are. That's the pushback that women are.
Hey, welcome to the Soapboxx Podcast. I'm your host, TJ Legacy. Yo, I'm so glad to be here with y'all on Thursdays, the most infamous podcast on all your streaming services. Shout out to Soapboxx Nation, rocking and kicking with us. And shout out to my co-host, the best co-host that any podcast could ever ask for. Let's start with the lady from the north with the hair and the nose ring and all the vavoom going on here. What's going on, Jesse? What's popping?
What's popping? If you know anything about curly hair, then you know that some days it can act really good and other days it can act a damn fool, and that's what's going on right now. So excuse me if I'm playing with my hair.
You look spectacular. Speaking of spectacular, I don't know if y'all been on the IG lately, but my man over here is just been getting it in. If you looking for thirst traps, if you looking for the Michael B. Jordan reincarnation, ready for 2022, ready for the holiday season, cuffing season, my man Alan York was good, man.
Man, what's the word? Jesse, I definitely empathize with you. Back in the day, my barber told me that waves are nothing but curls pinned down. So as a person with technically wavy hair, that's pretty much curl, I get how the maintenance could really be. So, I'm empathizing with you. TJ, how you feeling, man?
Yo, man, I'm feeling good, feeling great. Yo, I just want to take a moment because I know, like, this is just my nerd moment. My shirt came in, so shout out to my King the Conqueror shirt. Ooh. Just want to step back, let y'all see all the goodness. I don't know if y'all watch too much Marvel stuff, whatever, but yeah, my King shirt came in, so I'm feeling real powerful today. I'm feeling good, feeling like doing my thing. But yo, I know we're 3/4 of the soapbox. Shout out to Giovanni. Giovanni is out, so we wish her well on what she's got going on.
Yeah,
of course. But we got a lot to cover. Also, we have a conversation that we're going to continue from last week when we talked about double standards and we talked about cheating. And Jesse, we'll give Jesse the floor to talk about that. But first, Jesse, let us know what's popping.
Well, you gonna tell us what's popping with Mr. Bishop Sycamore. Take it away, TJ.
Yes, see, I like that. Nice pick and roll. See, look, we getting back into our groove, right? So,
yes.
So the good bishop over here, right? I don't know if y'all heard this story, but the good bishop over here is the head coach of which team was it? Jesse, do you have that? No. All right, so he was the team, and his team that he was coaching was he lied, right? And that's the theme of this episode. It's called faking the funk. So the coach basically lied to ESPN in order to get his team on national TV, and so told them that he had different prospects and all these fabrications in order to get his team on the squad. Well, his team ended up losing in the high 50s. I think it was like 58-0. And so everybody's like, yo, who is this? And he also had people who was like grown ass men on the team. All right. And I don't know, I want to say this was college or high school. I want to say this was supposed to be high school or some sort of junior college or whatever. But either way, what was it?
An Ohio-based online school. That's basically what it is.
Yeah, so he basically was like, okay, I got this team from DeVry University, and we're gonna play some football today. We got mad prospects. First of all, I didn't realize how easy it was to lie to ESPN to get on a national TV, where like ESPN was like, oh, you got it, shit. All right, you go ahead and play. So apparently, his team played 2 games in 3 days, which is a no-no. And so they found out that he lied about the team to ESPN. So he ended up getting fired. So my question to y'all is, have y'all ever faked the funk in order to get ahead on something? Or maybe lied about your age to date someone or anything like that? Have you ever made fabrications, or are some fabrications okay?
I think it's okay to make up certain things if it's to protect something in some shape or form. I lied really big, like one time when I've lied before, but I've lied like huge. When I was younger, I think I was like 14, and I told this guy who was 17 that I was really 16, and then like we had like this little
rewind.
Listen. So then it was like one of my cousin's friends. So it was like one of those like little innocent little summer flings, because he was like my cousin's neighbor. And then when I moved like back, like away, or not moved back, when I left for the summer and I went back home, like I confessed it to him, and he was so mad, but then he still wanted to keep talking. It was a little weird, but I think that was my biggest lie. But you know what this story kind of reminds me of, even though it kind of doesn't really have any correlation, but you know the whole Ja Rule and Fire Fest?
Okay, yeah.
It's kind of like that. Like he was lying, he was hyping it up, he was making it seem like all of these people were gonna play it's kind of like that, you know? He was just trying to hype it up, because sometimes like when you hype something up, it attracts what you're hyping up. You know what I'm saying? Like I think he was trying to manifest that these players were D1 players, and he thought that he could fool people, but yeah, just obviously that's just not what happened here.
But wait, I'm sorry.
How old was the dude?
Wait, hold on. Before we get to that, because I definitely want to get back to that, Jesse. Where did he get fired from if it's not a real school? I'm confused.
It is a real school.
It is a real school, but it wasn't on the level of what he said it was to be on ESPN playing no damn football.
So who fired him then?
I think it was the school director. It says the school director, Andre Peterson, cited pending fraud charges against Johnson and the team's injury tracking procedures as part of a lot of things that resulted in the firing. So it seems like it was probably the school director.
So it feels like the school director is just saving his ass. Like, you knew that person, whatever the coach was doing, they knew that shit. and they just mad that they got caught. There's no way that the sports director just found all of this shit out when he was watching ESPN. So I don't know.
You think he was in on it, but then got embarrassed? It was like, oh man.
Yeah, like I gotta do something now, fam. You was walking the practice fields. You knew what the fuck was going on. I'm sorry. Okay. Also, to rewind, zip, 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 zip. Just say, define innocent summer fling.
Go to the movie. Go to the movies, hold hands.
How old was this guy?
17, she said.
Yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't really like, it was nothing crazy. It was literally like, I promise you, I would have said it. But it was just funny because even after I told him, he still wanted to like continue the relationship, which I was not really like.
I mean, that's not abnormal. You can be upset that your partner lied to you and not want to break up with them.
Yeah, no, like I said, it was.
Although he was probably a good 6 months from actually going to jail, which is the extremely weird part. Like, fam,
is it possible that he thought he was on the clock? Like he was like, all right, so I know, like he's probably messed up because you fucked up his timeline. He was like, oh well, you said you were what, 16 instead of 15 instead of 16?
No, 6. She said she was 16 instead of her being 14, which is really a big deal.
I lied about my age. That's on me. That's on me.
There is a difference between 16 and 14. Even though it's 2 years, there is a huge difference, especially if he's what, 17?
Yeah, definitely a huge difference there.
she's like, oh, well, sorry, buddy, but the fact that he assessed the new information and was like, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
At first he was upset. At first he was upset because he's like, why'd you lie? And then he was upset at my cousin because my cousin knew my real age and didn't say anything. But then he was okay with it. Then he was cool.
He going to jail.
It didn't matter because I didn't live out there. So at that point, it wasn't going to be anything anyways. It was literally just fun, little.
Hey, listen. That's how.
The thing is that we all made fabrications. I mean, people lie on their resume all the time. How many times have y'all lied on your resume to get a job and you don't know what to do? Like, you know what I'm saying? You didn't. They're like, oh, I'm fluent in Spanish.
Look, there's people operating on people who fake their credentials. I saw this documentary recently, and I can't remember who it was, and I'm gonna see if I can remember or look it up. But he put on his resume that he went to all of these different schools and he did all of these different things, and then come to find out it was all a lie. And he was like operating on people, and he was like a really well-known surgeon. I can't remember his name. I watched this documentary like when I had COVID, and he's operating on people. There's people who have died in his hands, in his care, and people lie. Like that's a big lie. I did a little lie because nothing bad could have came out of it. It's not like he was gonna go to jail, but that's a big lie. That's a huge lie. That's people's lives. Okay, I'm sorry. That's different.
To be fair,
speaking of, I know this is not one of our stories, but I just wanted to mention it. There was a story this week and I think I put it on Soap for those who follow us on the Soapboxx Podcast page. Shout out to Lisa showing us love, saying what's up. Shout out to Soapboxx Nation. Make sure y'all follow them. There was a story where there was these guys who were convicted of rape, and they were actually executed back in the day by a white woman. White women tears are probably the most deadly to black men back in those days, where there was lynching and those type of things going on and Jim Crow. And so these guys ended up getting the death penalty for this rape. And then now I think this week they just pardoned those men. They're dead already, but just this week they pardoned them. I don't know how that works because that would just piss me off. But yeah, so people lie about things. Emmett Till, people lie about there's little things, and there's big lies. But I think to an extent we all have a propensity to, we're taught that, hey, fake it till you make it. If you ain't got it, you gotta, act as if. But I think with this coach, I don't think he had any any real strategy behind it. And I think when you faking the funk, there's got to be strategy behind it. Yes. Oh, I appreciate you. It says exonerated after 7 years. Okay, so people are familiar with that story. Yeah.
70
years. What did I say?
7.
I was making age adjustments like Jesse. Jesse was like, nah, I'm not 16, I'm 40. That's a development. Yeah, I appreciate you sharing though.
Yeah, I mean, 50, 60, that's a 3-year difference, CJ. Come on. Bye. Anyways, moving on.
Hey, no, wait a minute. Fellas, look, we are not trying to give people advice so that they can go to jail. Like,
that's not what I'm doing at all. But
a 17-year-old girl is a 16. There's a difference between a 16-year-old girl and a
14. Not like nowadays, but back then, yes. Definitely.
I like how Jesse be acting like this way in the past. Doesn't even matter.
It was in 2010.
We moving on.
Barack Obama was president
back in those days. But yo, Alan, have you ever faked the funk on something?
Nothing huge that I can really think about off the top of my head. My issue, like for me personally, with lying is that I have a very bad memory. So I know I will fuck it up. So if I lie, I really don't have a great way to cover my tracks because my memory is just horrible. So I try to stay away from like huge lies and stuff like that.
I concur.
Yeah. And I don't talk to people. So that's even better, and it kind of lowers your chance of lying when you just don't talk to humans.
Shout out to you and I living the Shrek swamp life, because I just realized today I don't really interact with too many. Besides going to the gym, I don't really interact with too many humans, and
that just lowers my lie rate by just not dealing with the outside world.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk about. I don't know if y'all were aware. Alan, you actually brought this to my attention. We have Lil Nas X has a brand new album cover, and this is his album cover.
That's not his album cover.
It's not his album cover, or this is a picture.
That is a photo, a magazine photo shoot that's coming out.
Oh, well, speaking of coming out, it came out, and people are astir for this. What looks like, I think it's supposed to be artistic. It looks like a maternity photo. A photo shoot. Real. Yeah, it does. It does. So I wanted to get y'all reaction to Lil Nas X, and this is what we talk about when we talk about faking the funk. To me, Lil Nas X, and I know everybody, when you talk about Lil Nas X, they want to cancel you or whatever, but Lil Nas X to me is like an industry plan. You see what I'm saying? Like he does things for sensationalism, and he does things to get people talking. Lizzo does the same thing. A lot of artists do the same thing. Like they come up with a lot of beef. We talk about Erica Mena and Safari, and a lot of those people on Love and Hip Hop, like they do things for sensationalism. And this is just another trick out of the old rabbit hat, but it's the same trick. Like it's the same trick that if you go and you criticize Lil Nas X and you start talking about how dare he, the kids are going to be confused and do all this stuff, and he's putting this for the children and stuff like that. Like that's what he's doing. It's like the hook. Like he's hooking you so that he can then play the victim and say, oh, y'all just got a problem with me because I'm LGBTQ or whatever. No, we have a problem with you because you're fucking corny. But nice photo. So what was your reaction, Alan? You brought this to my attention.
I didn't really have a reaction. I mean, he is like, if you guys didn't know, like even though he's young, when he was younger, he was like a Nicki Minaj stan account. Like, so he has been in the business of trolling people before people knew who he was. So the fact that, he's made it to be a popular artist, and the fact that he continues to troll people is just really kind of part of his makeup. And again, what the picture is supposed to signify is that this is, his album coming out. So when we say signifying that,
so he's birthing an album, not like a baby.
Exactly, he's birthing a baby the baby is a metaphor for his album. You know how people talk about their albums, their child, et cetera, et cetera. But of course, since it's coming from him, it's like a whole different thing. So yeah, he's going to continue to do this until people stop talking about him doing these things. But I will say, you know, even though I my really only stance with him, because I'm always go back to the music, because I always feel like everything outside of the music gets a lot more is a lot more provocative than the music itself.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, you know, labels aren't putting an extreme amount of money on promotion, and artists are really out here left to fend for themselves. And one thing he has done is kind of master the trolling and or marketing aspect of releasing his music. So in that sense, I could do nothing but respect it. It's effective thus far. So,
but he's basically a one-hit wonder. Like, I know he had Old Town Road, but the best part of Old Town Road is the chorus. So, other than that, I know his. I don't really. And here's my thing: I don't really look into the whole like streaming and stuff, because we now know like those things can be manipulated, right? When it comes to artists and streams and which radio stations are playing your records and stuff like those. Like, we have to be naive to think that like there's a machine behind these people when it comes to what records or what things they want to be played, right? It's all about different programming and messaging that they want out there into our society. So when he does things like this, it's just like, yo, my chair, for those who are watching, my chair is driving me fucking nuts. Okay, so my chair just keeps going lowering. So every time I do this, it's me adjusting my chair. It's like, what the hell? Anyway, I needed to get a new one. I think I got it. But anyway, just say it's been bothering me for weeks, for almost months. And I think I've just at my wit's end with it. Just say, what do you think about Lil Nas X? You have young boys, so if they see this picture, what do you tell them? Like, is this like a conversation you had? Did Just say freeze? I think she did, because she is smiling, and usually Just say don't smile when I talk. So,
yeah, she is. Just say let us know when you're back from the abyss.
Yeah. I was like, wait a minute. Just say was smiling. I was like, oh, she got something to say. And then I was like, wait a minute.
That's a fly, y'all.
Yo, you too? I had the same thing, but yeah. So I don't know. Look, what do you like? His whole it's a shtick, right? Everybody has their own shtick that they do, and it's not necessarily something that is, you know.
Why is it that like people really only care about the kids when Lil Nas X does something?
That's a true statement. Talk about it. That is very true.
Like nobody, the children. Like, why? The children don't care about, like, people are not concerned with children seeing anything else. And like I really thought it was funny when the baby thing happened. You know, because a lot of times people were like kind of combining the baby issue because of his cancellation, and then the Lil Nas X, and they were always talking about, you know, what about the kids seeing this with Lil Nas X? And then you look at the baby's video, like within the first 30 seconds, he's getting fellatio from an old lady, doing doggy style to an old lady.
Really?
Yes, he's brandishing guns. He's shooting at the crowd. He's doing all of these crazy things within 90 seconds of his video, and not one person was like, "Yo, what about the children? He's such a big star. He's one of the biggest rappers in the industry, and he's having like no." I did not see one single person talking about what about the children at that point. And then, but it's like Lil Nas X could like breathe. Like
I think it is
painting his nails, and people were like, "The children are gonna see the nails painted. What is gonna happen?" Like,
like when he
children or not.
Yeah, like
I don't like people scapegoating children. Don't, if you got something wrong with it, say you got something wrong with it. Don't use the children as your shield. The children are gonna be fine.
But I would say on the flip side of that, like I would also say if people got something wrong or something to say about you, like don't make it so that it's a like, for instance, if you have anything to say about Lizzo, then automatically people can, like, I heard this term, fat phobic, right? Mm-hmm. Which I think is a bullshit term because y'all waited until I tried to get into the gym to come up with a term for people criticizing fat people. And so now all of a sudden, if you say anything about a big person or someone who's overweight, they're fat phobic. No, they just probably got a problem with you. It's not a phobia. Like, it's not a real phobia. It's not a thing. And if you got a problem with Lil Nas X, it's not because you don't support LGBTQ, especially in the Black community. I hate that shit. Like, I hate the whole, like, Black community got a problem with the LGBT. Like, first of all, Black people don't, as a whole community, aren't making the laws to oppress LGBTQ community. And if you look at in the Black community, where isn't there LGBT? We got LGBTQ choir directors. We got LGBTQ members in our families. Like stop. So it's like you said, if he's trolling and he's trolling the, those people who are, the morality police, like the Christian conservatives and all those type of folks. Welcome back, Jess.
Sorry about that. Wacky internet service today.
No, you were making fun of my chair, and God was like, snatch. But I was asking you, like, I knew something was wrong because you were smiling and I was talking, and I was like, this doesn't really happen. So, I was like, yo, I'm like, what up, Jesse? And you were like,
whatever.
Okay, but when you look at a picture, I know we'll wrap on this, but when you look at a picture like this, is there a special conversation that you feel obligated to have with your sons if they're fans of Lil Nas X or something like that?
I would just be honest with them and just try to explain it to the best of my capability. At the end of the day, they're gonna learn things when they're out and about. So I guess I would just try to explain it to the best way that, just be, what am I trying to say? Just be honest, I guess. I would just be honest. That's it. That's all I can do. I'm not going to be here and like lie and try to no, I'm going to say exactly what it is. And,
honest about what?
About like when they ask, like, why is he pregnant?
But what are you gonna say? The mom is stork and the baby stork? Are you gonna give them the stork thing? Or are you gonna be like, how does this man got pregnant?
They're gonna be confused, and then they're gonna be like, how did he get pregnant? And I'm gonna be like, he's not really pregnant. That it's an edited photo, and I'm gonna tell them what it symbolizes, and that's that. And if they have more questions, I will go from there. God be with me, and I will figure out how to say it, in the right way. But honestly, I don't know. I would just try to be as honest as I can, and that's an edited photo, is it not?
Right. That's
I know that ain't really pregnant. So it gotta be unless you got a tumor.
And that's exactly. And then Alan, you said it the perfect way. You explained it perfectly. Like what he's trying to do. He's trying to symbolize the birth of his album. So I would explain that to my kids. Like I said, and just hope that they get it.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, to me, it's nothing too much to explain. Like, yo, this is makeup, fam. It's no different than you seeing someone on TV with horns coming out their head. Horns don't come out of people's head.
And in fairness, I could probably take my shirt off and have that same baby bump. So it's not like that. Like him having a belly is like the thing. It's just like, he's in flowers or whatever. Like, so everybody got a little gut, little pot belly. It's all good. I mean, it's not protruding like that, but actually, when you told me the concept, it's actually a little bit more digestible to me. When you're like, oh, he has a new album coming out. I can see the artistic, if that's what you want to call it, the artistic, creativity, so to speak, when you tell it. But speaking of creativity and speaking of music and albums, Alan, Donda and Kanye West came out on Sunday. It came out.
Yeah.
Well, I want to get your, because you are our regular hip hop aficionado. You yourself being an independent artist. I wanted to get your honest opinion on the album, and I want to get your take on DJ Envy had a lot to say about Kanye West And so I wanted to get into that conversation. But what did you think about the album?
Well, do we have the DJ Envy clip?
We do.
Okay, because I have something very something short to say about that, so we can knock that out the way. So you could pull that clip up. In regard, this is DJ Envy from the Breakfast Club.
Well, I was gonna. I mean, I know you were quarterbacking. You're saying, all right, we'll do it your way, because I had some things to say about DJ's Envy, his words. But yeah, here goes DJ Envy and his reaction to Kanye West.
Kanye is a clown. He is a clown in a circus.
Envy?
He is a clown in a circus, and I'm ashamed of the people around him. Boo, Free, Pusha, Monopoly. He is a clown. And if you don't get your guy together, like Charlamagne said 7 years ago, when he came up here and said, the people around you don't love you. And Kanye, the people around you don't love you. You are a clown.
I'm sending Kanye healing energy.
And we take it back to what you would say in South Carolina. You need to get boxed in the mouth. You are a clown.
I'm sending Kanye healing energy, Envy.
You are a clown. And the people around you are clowns if they don't check you. You are a clown.
I'm sending Kanye West healing energy. But I agree with you.
Clown.
I definitely agree with him about his people. It's a lot of people who enable a lot of toxic behavior from Kanye West. A lot of people.
If my friends around me don't check me,
all are enablers.
Yeah, if my friends around don't check me when I do stupidish, I'm their clowns too. And if I ever did some clownish, my friends would check me. Charlamagne would check me. Yee would check me.
Well, let's talk about
clowns.
Why is he a clown though? What did he do?
So, and that is literally my point in regards to this, and why I didn't want to spend too much time. DJ Envy did all of that and had not one single elaboration of inkling of why he went on this rant. Mind you, there's been a lot of reasons over the years, especially.
I think it's because he did the Drake thing, because he talked about Drake directly after about when's Drake album. I think it's because I think Kanye leaked Drake's address, and because of how he's been like acting as far as like being in the stadiums and
but this is the whole thing
and like that. He elaborated on his position the next day, and I listened to that clip as well. But
okay, because he was
basically talking about his behavior over the years and how everybody just lets Kanye do whatever, and is the people that are around him aren't really holding him, accountable. And then Angela Yee also talked about, it's a slippery situation because you're dealing with somebody with bipolarism who doesn't want to take their medication. So there's that.
To me, I'm only going based off the clip that we played.
Yeah.
Because all of that is extremely random. There's been plenty of reasons to call Kanye a clown over the last 4 or 5 years, and he didn't name any of them. So I don't know, to just kind of, and I feel like honestly for the last 6 months, this is the most normal Kanye has been in a very long time.
Which is not saying much.
No, well, I don't, and I could be wrong about this, but he hasn't been on the internet. He hasn't been ranting. He hasn't been doing interviews. He hasn't been doing anything but working on this album and going to these stadiums and previewing the album, which I have my thoughts on as well. But I haven't seen anything recently, at least public facing, that would warrant this rant. So if DJ Envy knows something more deep than he's letting on, then to me as a consumer, I think it's corny, because let's really get like, why are you going on this rant? It doesn't make sense for it to come right now, unless now. Granted, when the album dropped, there were a couple people who wasn't happy with Kanye. Chris Brown being one of them, Soulja Boy being the other. From what the speculation is in regard, Soulja Boy flat out said, I sent my verse in, he cut the verse off. Speculation in regards to Chris Brown is that there was a song that he was on, and essentially Kanye minimized his contribution on the song, supposedly because him and Drake have a collaboration coming soon. And then, this spawned a bunch of jokes. I was on Donda. Everybody was saying that they was on Donda. So for me personally, like I said,
the trending thing.
Yeah. So just for that specific aspect, I don't really, if you're not gonna, what Monique said, say names or keep it on the playground. Like if you're not gonna elaborate, then I really don't have time to be trying to decipher why you're saying these things. Yeah.
I don't look like a clown.
No, I mean,
it's hard to defend his ass when he's dressed like that. I will say that.
No, I mean, this is
being different. I feel like he's being different. He's like, just like Lil Nas X. They're just going their own creative route, and because it's not the norm, people think it's weird and people think it's strange. So you're not used to seeing that. So it's weird.
From Kanye, you are. Kanye had the Margiela mask on in 2010, 2011, diamond studded out. This has like been a part of his persona for a very long time. There's nothing abnormal about that for Kanye. And I think for me, one of the most refreshing things that's happened during this rollout is Kanye is just really just everything that we're hearing about Kanye for the most part, 99% is art based, is music based. He's playing this music. He's having these, it's essentially just live theater art, right? I mean, no matter how we feel about him personally, he's not doing a lot of talking. And I think that PR wise, that's a good thing. That's a wonderful thing. Give the people, allow people to fall in love with you the second time around while they fell in love with you the first time around. And Kanye has a lot of what I call emotional credit, right? So, when people talk about cancellations and why he was able to come back is that because Kanye built, before he started wilding out, Kanye built 15 years of emotional credit with people. And people are going to remember that more than they remember the negative things. So once you can kind of tap into that emotion to people and get them to remember why they were diehard fans in the first place, then they're gonna be willing to give you a shot. So I'll get more into the album in a little bit, but I know TJ, you have more to say in regards to Envy calling him a clown.
My thing is this, because there is some truth. When he called him a clown, it did sound personal, and I think you're right when it comes to, if you're not going to be specific as to why someone is a clown, you probably shouldn't say anything. So he probably should have said what he said the second day all together so that everybody could address it and be like, okay. But people are allowed to have their opinions about you. People have opinions about me, whatever. And it's like, and people have opinions about Jesse. I have my opinions about Jesse, and I have opinions.
I got my opinion about you too. Sure.
Yeah, but my opinions are all love opinions and not aggression like yours are towards me. You're a passive aggressive ass. But anyway, listen. But what he did say is something that even with the soapbox that we are, it's like you got to have good people around you that can tell you when you're tripping or not, or check you and hold you accountable when you are. Like there's nothing that happens, whether it's on the soapbox or with the brand, that if I need to make a big decision, whatever, I don't hit y'all up. I actually did it this week. You see what I'm saying? Like, and I get insight, especially with Alan. I mean, Alan, affectionately I tell people Alan is the red button. When I really feel like I'm tripping, and Alan knows this, because I don't really boys don't really, back in the day you call people all the time, but everybody's living their life. But when I call, 9 times out of, probably 8 times out of 10, he knows it's on some he's got to have to sit there and be like, make some sort of analysis of me presenting like, yo, am I tripping? Because you need to have, and I think it has to do with respecting people's opinions and trusting that they're going to tell you the fucking truth. And so if you have, and we see this a lot with athletes, we see this a lot with entertainers, where they have a certain status or wealth that people are afraid, or even with people like Floyd Mayweather. I think there was a clip one time where Floyd Mayweather told the corniest joke, but all them dudes behind him was like, oh man, that's good one, Floyd. Like, if you got a bunch of yes people behind you, like you don't really have a squad. And so your squad got to be able to tell you whether or not you're tripping. And so I see what he's talking about. Like, you got to have, whether it's family members, somebody got to be around you to let you know, like, yo, you fucking up, or applaud you when you need to be applauded, but also, set you straight when you need to be set straight. And it's a hard thing where, you don't always like it. I don't always like what Alan got to say to me, because sometimes I be on one and I be hyped and I just be looking for Alan to be like, yeah, I'm with you. Do it. And Alan be like, well, I can see the different perspectives. Then I'd be like, I'd be on the phone like this. I get mad but he's right. You know what I'm saying? And so I get a different perspective. And even with the ladies, I'm starting leaning on y'all more because like this week y'all helped me tremendously. And I was like, but it was so crazy because, without getting into the details of it, but like Jesse and Giovanni had the same type of chemistry and they didn't talk to each other. But I was able to lean on them and they were like, yeah, nah, you're not tripping, blah, blah, and just keep pushing. So, so I think when we talk about faking the funk means you got to make sure that you got the right fucking people around you because when your resources are dried up or it's a transactional relationship where people are just taking from you, eventually those people who are faking the funk in the first place, they're gonna chuck the deuces and do what's best for them. And in this world, we live in an individualistic society. There's a lot of self-preservationists out here where they only care about themselves. And so when you got people around you who ride or die for you and have that same standards of principle, then those are the people you got to rock with. And the other ones you kind of got to, no beef, just kind of chuck the deuces. You were saying, just saying?
No, I agree with you. I think it's very important to have real people on your team or real people around you, whether it's friends or whatever, because like who wants someone who's going to hype you up all the time and is always going to agree with you even when you're wrong? I don't want that. I want someone to tell me when I'm wrong. I want someone to tell me like, nah, you tripping, or no, you're right. Because then when you hear that like, nah, you're right, you take it more genuinely because like they're going to be real with you. And for me, I'd rather take the hurt of somebody like telling me like, like you're wrong than for them to be like, no, you're right. And I'm out here looking stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like I want someone who's real around me. I want only real people around me. I don't want fake people around me. And yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
If you're a real friend, you're going to be real.
Yeah. And I think that's the standard that we've set. Us being together, like I think this week, since COVID and since everything that's been going on with me, and I got a lot going on personally or whatever, but like understanding that is like, you get a greater appreciation for you guys as a squad of like we really set a standard from the beginning of like being unapologetic with each other and being authentic and saying, yo, this is what it is. There's nobody has a muzzle, y'all, as far as creativity, as far as like shit's whack, the ebbs and flows, like everybody has a voice. And I think in the fact that we have all lines of communication, but I can't be around yes people, and I also can't be around people that's lurking in the shadows, and nobody wants that. So I think that's what Envy was alluding to as far as the people around him, because Kanye's doing things, but they cool with his antics as long as they're eating. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's not what you want for anybody listening. That's not what you want in your circle. And that, for the instant gratification, it may work for a time, but as you progress and you're trying to go to the next level, like you're literally building a foundation on a house of cards, because the minute one card gets pulled, then everything goes down. And it's like, the TLC, what about your friends? Like where your friends at, where your people's at, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah. Shout out to my little circle of friends who always keep it real with me. I love ya.
But so in the vein of that, not in the vein of that, to go back to like the original, how did y'all feel about the music?
I like the album.
Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, Jesse, talk to it. Give us the breakdown.
Yeah, I didn't listen to the whole thing, but from the songs that I heard, I liked it. I feel like it was different. Like everybody's rapping about the same shit nowadays, and like it was more of a gospel album from what I heard. And I'm never gonna knock that because I love Jesus. That's my dog. So like for me, this was different. Like
you said, I love Jesus. That's my dog.
Yes, like for me, this was different. Like it was kind of refreshing just to hear something different. And with that being said, I would also like to say, Certified Lover Boy drops tomorrow. So I can't.
Does it really? Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I'm gonna get into that in my review, but we got TJ. What you think? What you thought about the album?
I think people were lying this week. I mean, the album dropped on Sunday, and people was like, "Yo, Kanye a genius." It's a lot like you can't listen to an album on like the same day and be like, "Oh my God, this is like." I didn't even do that. I'm a huge J. Cole fan. I didn't even do that with J. Cole. Like I had to listen to the album, and I'm still listening to the Kanye album like over and over because when you listen to like stuff, you have to let songs and things marinate. But as of right now, my favorite songs on there are Jail, Believe What They Say. The one where he has the Lauryn Hill sample, I think is probably one of the best joints that he got on there. And yeah, like there's like 4 songs that I'm like, all right, I can rock with these songs. But for the most part, listening to it, like I skipped the Donda chant because I was just like, I don't know what he's trying to put into my system or my spirit. So I was like, I'm gonna skip that one. But shout out to Jay. Jay, I was shocked by that because I didn't know, right? I didn't read anything about it. So to see Jay-Z, to hear Jay-Z on his album, it was kind of like I don't want to say choked up, but it was like damn, it's always something like when boys kind of beef and then like they come back and then now Jay's like still supporting him and stuff like that. So there's growth as men. So I really, I like that. Shout out to Lisa. She says I'm posting. I love Jesus. Just saying, you didn't put that on her shirt. But yo, Alan, give us your expertise, man. What you think of the album?
Well, before that, did y'all see his announcement in regards to what he said on his Instagram? He said Universal dropped the album without his consent.
Wow.
It sounded like when I first listened to it, it sounded unfinished. Like it sounded like he wasn't like I was like, why is there so many part 2s and not remix? Why are we calling this a remix? And I was like I was confused. But then I was just like you said, that cachet, like, oh, this is Kanye, so just take it with a grain of salt. I'm pretty sure he's
so he to quote, Universal put my album out without my approval, and they blocked Jail 2 from being on the album. So if you guys don't know, the record that TJ was talking about with Jay is called Jail. Yeah. And then so he has a record, essentially it's the same record, but with a verse from DaBaby is Jail 2. He has a couple of those records on the album, like just part 2s of songs that as opposed to like, I guess calling them remixes or just mashing everyone together. He just put them at the end of the album with whatever new features. So that is his thing. So a couple things for me personally, musically, I think the music is good. I did think the music is good. I was not a fan of the last 3-ish Kanye albums. So for me, I think the best thing that he did to gain people's attention was the whole tour, stadium hopping, production live, because a lot of people just were kind of checked out for Kanye for a lot of reasons, but just because also the music hasn't been up to par the last couple of records. So now that he's going out and he's actually proven that he's put his heart and soul into the record, I think that actually got a lot more people interested. So when it did come out, that's why you're seeing this fanfare. So I thought that was a very, very smart move, although I think a little bit of it was grifting because he was just going around for a month, selling out stadiums, selling out merch, selling out concession stands. And all that is I'm sure there were some losses, but that's mostly profit. So so like I said, for me, I thought the music was good. Initially, when I opened the album, it said 1 hour and 48 minutes. I said, he's out his fucking mind. And then a part of me still believes that he is out of his mind. But to be honest, I don't, I found myself listening to the album and not necessarily skipping too much. And that could just be because it's a fresh album to me. So I don't want to. Yeah.
You might stage your apartment, buddy.
Yeah. So I read something and I'm not sure how true this is. And I hate reporting on that stuff, but allegedly they're saying that the Donda chant was like time-wise were like some of her last heartbeats.
Oh, no, I really don't want to listen to that.
Yeah. So it is kind of eerie when you think about it that way. And then also when he was doing it live, like after she said Donda the last time, it was like a dove that went, across the screen. So I thought that was interesting. But what I will say is this, right? Supposedly, Kanye and Drake have had this whole thing. I do believe that originally when they were saying the Kanye album was supposed to come out a month or so ago, that was the original plan. I do believe, and this is Kanye being so big that he had the ability to tell Universal, nah, we're going to pause this. I'm still working on it. And then as the dates got closer, he got wind that Drake was about to drop. So I do believe that he was inching his way and trying to drop on the same day as Drake did. So because he
feels that to himself, that doesn't sound like smart business.
Well, it doesn't if you're anyone but Kanye. Kanye still feels like he's big bro, right? He still feels like of course he respects Drake, and I think the reason why he goes through these little things with Drake is because he's so threatened by him, because he didn't really think that he would become who he is, but he's still a part of him feels like.
I think there's a little bit more to that, buddy. I think there's a little bit more.
I'm not getting into the TMZ stuff.
Allegedly.
Nope, I'm not doing that. So
what's the name of his new album? What's the name of Drake's new album?
Don't matter. So I think that a part of that is him trying to he wanted to kind of sun him a little bit. But if what he's saying is true and Universal put the album out without his consent, then I think he got a very, very real reality check of who's running the building. Because if you guys don't know, Drake and Kanye are on the same parent label. So, which is Universal Records. So, of course, so Kanye is with Def Jam and Drake is with Republic Cash, part of Republic and Young Money or something like that. But regardless, all of these labels are just under the umbrella of distribution of Universal. Yeah. So at the end of the day, the big dogs were probably made an executive decision okay, we know Drake is dropping next Friday. I'm not sure what Kanye is doing. I have a feeling he's going to want to try to drop on the same day, but why would we do that why would we kind of split sales? Kanye, sorry, buddy. We got the files. Uploading it on Sunday. You'll get your full week. You'll get a whole day to yourself. It's Sunday. It's gospel.
I did think it was weird that they did drop it on the Sunday, though.
Yeah, but it's okay, it's a gospel album. It comes out on Sunday. It made sense.
Wasn't it? Is it classified in gospel as gospel?
His previous 2 albums were. And
I didn't know that. I still listen to College Dropout. I listen to none of that. Anytime he drops a new album, I listen to College Dropout.
Yeah, notably, there is no unedited version of the album that has come out, and there's a lot of cursing, especially on the features. So another theory is that the reason why that is so he can put it in the gospel category. So that's kind of where he's been. But I think he got a real reality check when the building was like, bro, Drake is coming Friday. We're not going to let you ruin Drake week. So you can have the whole week before, but once this Drake train gets to moving, my brother, you got to know, it's what they, and I hate to say this, because Kanye is one of the greatest of all time, but a Chrysler 300 looks like a Bentley until a Bentley pulls up, right? And so,
I'm curious, right? I'm curious as to how long it's gonna take Jesse to post a thirst trap on her IG with a Drake quote from the new album.
1204.
I will definitely
1204.
I will definitely be tweeting mad Drake tweets. Mad Drake lyrics. I'll tell you that right now. So,
listen,
I'm thinking it's gonna be a nice provocative photo by Friday, by close of business day. There will be a Drake quote and a picture Y'all got that one. Soapbox Nation, please look out for that.
Maybe.
She's gonna be certified lover girl.
Period.
By midnight. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm excited about the Drake album.
I'm so excited.
Who does he have on it? Who does he have on it? That's coming.
So today, so I'm gonna also explain this. So over the last day, Drake has done a really, really simple but effective campaign in regards to who he's having on the album. So what he's doing is he's creating billboards in the city of the featured artist. So in New York, he said, "Hey, New York, the GOAT is on CLB."
He's talking about Jay-Z?
Yes. I mean, I'm thinking, of course. And so in Atlanta, he put up a billboard that say, "Hey, Atlanta, Slime, Pluto, Savage is on the album." So, and he's just doing like throwing hints, nicknames. In Houston, he put, "Hey, Houston, the hometown hero is on the album." In LA, he's like, "Hey, dollar sign."
I'm not trendy, man. Who are these people?
And you know what? To be honest, that the Houston one was a little tricky. Some people were saying Travis Scott, some people were saying Meg, some people were saying Trade the Truth. That one was a little bit tricky. But so he's going around in Memphis. He's like, "Hey, Memphis, Pat is on the album, Project Pat." So this has all happened within the last 48 hours. So he's doing a lot of, he's squeezing a lot of promo within this week, and it's like it's extremely exciting.
I have a question.
What's up?
Because I Googled, for those who are listening on our streaming services, shout out to Soapbox Nation. Make sure you follow us on our streaming services, Spotify, Stitcher, SoundCloud, all that stuff. I Googled Drake new album, and this picture showed up. Is this his album cover?
Yes. Yes, it is. It's officially the album cover.
So we are now we have a situation, right? Because what's the difference between that shit and Lil Nas X's pregnancy photo? But he's saying his album's called Certified Lover Boy, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They could probably both be meaning different things. Like Alan said before, Lil Nas X was the birth of his album, and we don't know what Drake's songs are gonna be, but maybe it's like, these are the type of songs that don't get you pregnant,
And
could mean anything.
At the end of the day,
you might be right. I don't even think. I thought it would just be like this nigga's out of. Because I've been said on the soapbox that Drake is out of control. He must be stopped. Like I know Michael B. Jordan has his Lori Harvey, and yes, I promised Jesse I would say this week. For everybody, yes, I was wrong about Lori Harvey and Michael B. Jordan. They seem to be getting along famously and enjoying their, relationship of loyalty and holy matrimony, and I wish them the best.
The best.
Well, I wish them the best of everything, and I hope they listen to Drake's album. But yes, Drake must be stopped. He's got come on, even after the situation where we talked about the remember the girl? I actually have that video queued up. I don't know if it's appropriate. Remember the girl that we talked about that went and was supposed to be on this album with Drake, and she left her boyfriend?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Let me refresh your memory. This is the girl. This is her.
Yes. I remember. And then her and her man broke up, or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah.
He over here breaking homes. Come on, Drake.
Hey, such is life. And I feel like tonight is gonna be a really exciting night. The next week should be pretty exciting. I do think that everybody cleared out their release schedule once they found out for sure that Drake was coming, except for Kanye. Kanye wanted to come closer to the date, but Universal.
That's because of the home life situation that I don't want to touch on.
No,
but allegedly.
See, I don't like allegeds.
Lover Boy. Doesn't he make? I think in a song he made reference to it. It might be in this album.
Nope.
It wasn't.
Doesn't exist. Ooh. So, yes. So Drake album tonight, Kanye album out now, and pretty much you can probably clear the fall for at least the next 2 weeks or so before we get any major releases. But before we go into the next subject, Kendrick is definitely on the way. We'll talk about that in another episode. He is, Kendrick he's coming back. He's coming back. Now, I think, is it time for the showdown, or do we have something else?
Oh, I mean, look, last week, Jesse, yes, Jesse, we had a conversation. Speaking of faking the phone, we wanted to make sure we had this conversation. So I'm going to give Jesse the floor. But I did want people, I mean, it's a little longer clip, so we just want to recap Jesse's position, and then we're going to go into the conversation of.
She didn't say she had that same energy.
We're talking about the double standard of men and women and their cheating ways. This is last week episode when we talked about.
Look at Giovanni.
Jay, shout out to Jay.
Shout out to Giovanni.
Yeah, short hair don't care. Love it.
When it's Sonya's ass in these streets, let that have been. She didn't say she had that same energy, that same Safari energy. She was like, well, you know how difficult it is, with this cheating thing or whatever. But let that be Dell or if it was Safari, she'd be like, you see these niggas and how they ain't fucking, loyal and shit.
No, I think not loyal. I think cheating across the board is not okay. I think that. But I feel like it's different. No, okay, I'm not going to say that. You know what? I got to be very careful with what I'm about to say. Only because I don't know the full story. And I believe with Safari, he admitted to it. He admitted to cheating.
Oh, so it's better for Sonya to just keep lying, keep deny. Sonya.
No, I definitely women gonna deny. But I definitely feel like you should be transparent. And I definitely feel like with women, before you cheat, it's because you feel neglected. It's because you're not taking care of what you need to be taken care of as a man. It's because we're telling you what you need to do and you're not freaking doing it. Okay, it's because you cheated. It's because you cheated, and we stood by you. We stood by you this entire time, and you're still not doing what you're supposed to do. Okay, and now
cheated.
Listen, I'm not trying to justify cheating at all. I don't like me. I'm the type of person that I would break up with somebody before I cheat with them, before I cheat with somebody else. Like, I would literally tell you, like, look, I need a break, or this isn't working, or I will tell you, like, look, I have interest, and I'm telling you, I've done this before. I don't like cheating because I always feel like there's gonna be a guilt when you cheat. Like, you're gonna feel guilty when you cheat. You're gonna. This is me speaking for me. For me, I'm not speaking for everybody. I'm speaking for me. However, y'all go and y'all cheat and y'all do whatever you want to do, and then y'all come back to your girls like when they find out, because you're not sorry until they find out. Then they find out, baby, I'm sorry. I don't know, I'm going through a tough time. You was nagging me. I'm sorry. Shut up.
Ain't right.
Wait a minute. No. The reason why, and I'm
wait, TJ, I would just want to make this last point in there before you can talk. Guys cheat on a good girl who's doing everything for them just because they want pussy. I'm sorry. I know I should not be talking like that. I apologize. But yes, guys cheat on girls just because, just to feed their ego, just because, they want multiple women. They want to feel. But women cheat because, and I'm not going to speak for all women, but most women cheat because they feel neglected by their partner. So, I mean, I just feel like it's a little different, but that's just me speaking, just to speak.
Do y'all see what I got to put up with every week? Jesse, in her wisdom, talking about men and women and cheating and stuff. So, Jesse, I'm going to give you the floor.
No, don't give me the floor. You started off with something, and then we go from there. So lead.
And I'm glad Alan is going to be in the middle because he's going to be unbiased. We just said that. So first of all, I think it's pretty telling. I just looked at that clip, and you basically said that you would rather break up with someone, you would rather tell somebody to take a break so you can go off and do what you got to do rather than cheat on him. Isn't that not the same thing?
No,
if you just
because
go right back to the person?
No, because I would break up with you first if it wasn't working. You know, if I felt that, this is the thing, if I feel like I need to cheat, that means I'm not being fulfilled in some way, shape, or form. And it's knowing the type of person I am, I have expressed that to you multiple times. And if nothing is changing, then, and you know, whatever, if I start to feel whatever, I'm not going to cheat on you. I'm going to let you know my feelings, and then I'm going to leave. I'm not going to stay with you.
Just
because
quick
go
question.
ahead. Yes.
Because you mentioned that if you were to go that route in regards to feeling the need to cheat, it is because there is a part of you that is not being fulfilled, right? On a percentage level, how much bad has to go in a relationship in order for you to feel that way? Is it the 80-20 rule? Like, 80% of things are good, but the 20% is unfulfilled. So I probably feel the need to cheat, or if it's not 80-20, give me a percentage. How happy or unhappy are you?
I gotta be really fucking unhappy, because when I'm with somebody, I give my all. In every relationship, I give my all. I don't know, whatever, I give my all. And I feel like if I ever get to that point, it's probably 95.
So 95% unfulfilled.
Yes. Because I'm not just gonna, like, I can go through tough times with people. Like, I can go through tough times. Like, I can get through certain hurdles with certain individuals if you're putting in that effort, whatever. But I'm definitely, like, if nothing is changing, I'm sorry. You won't catch me.
I have a question, not just for Jesse, but her supporters in the comment section and Soapboxx Nation. I'm just going to throw this out there.
Okay,
for all the women out there. Why is it? Because men know. We know what's up. Like, why is it that the relationship is always in jeopardy when the woman is not happy? The relationship is never in jeopardy. Guys don't do that. Like,
because y'all cheat.
Are we Alan referee? Like, you just like, I'm gonna allow it. You just go.
I do think that. Pardon me. Something just fell. I do think that there is more a finality.
No, I wasn't done. I was like, are you going to allow this person to just continue to just throw haymakers at me while I am trying to articulate my position?
Well, she didn't continue talking. She just said, because y'all cheat, and then that was it. I felt that was.
As a ref, you felt like it was.
Yeah. It's on the record. You can rebuttal if you like, as long as she didn't keep talking.
No, the relationship is always in jeopardy when the woman is not happy. Women don't necessarily. A man's happiness is never the priority in a relationship. Ever.
Oh, but what?
Like
but wait.
I won't speak in absolutes, but for the majority of it, a man's happiness, in totality, where women are like, oh my God, I'm not happy, I'm not fulfilled, whatever. That's never the priority in a relationship. The relationship is predicated on making sure that the woman is happy and making sure that she's good and she's secure. We even have, for example, sayings like happy life, happy wife, happy life. Those type of things, where it's about the woman in the relationship being secure, being happy, because if not, then everything in the house or the relationship is going to go haywire. But when a man is not necessarily happy, men tend to just suck that shit up and just kind of understand that the relationship, men can get happy or have certain segments in a relationship where, like, okay, I'm not happy with this, but I'm at least happy with this, and I'm going to focus on that. But when a woman is not happy, it's like, then we start getting the cheating justifications, which I'm like, look, if you're going to cheat, I think cheating is a personal selfish act. If you're going to cheat, if you're going to stay with the person, don't tell the other person. Like, that's just my personal opinion. Like, don't, because
hold on.
What you mean? Don't.
Before we do that, wait. Before we do that, sorry, TJ. What? Just because you was going to go into a different point, I want to allow Jess to rebuttal the original point you were saying in regards to a relationship not being not being in jeopardy.
Happiness is not the priority.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll do one point at a time, and then I'll give my summary when I'm done.
Okay. So TJ, that is complete and utter bullshit, for lack of a better term. Okay. Exactly, Amanda. Thank you, Amanda. There you go.
But it's okay. I can be the villain.
Okay. First of all, if a woman is unhappy, I'm pretty sure she has vocalized that to the man. I'm pretty sure she has told you multiple times why she is unhappy. Excuse me. She has told you multiple times why she's unhappy, and you have done nothing to change it. Okay? When a man is unhappy, and depending on who the person is, we're not going to talk for everybody. We're not talking for every man. We're not talking about for every girl. Generally speaking, when a man is unhappy, he kind of shuts down. He shuts down and he doesn't really vocalize how he's feeling. And instead, what he does is he goes look for happiness in another bitch. He goes look for a nut in another bitch. He goes look for a nut in another bitch. He don't try to fix shit with the person that he's with. Why? What's your reason, TJ? Why aren't you trying to fix shit with the person that you're with? Instead of being like,
I'm Bob the Builder. I'm working.
I'm not talking about you though, but I'm just saying, like, why be like, I'm unhappy, but I'm not gonna tell her I'm unhappy. I'm just gonna start acting a little weird, and I'm gonna start talking to another.
Can I say something? Men, and this is something that is true. Men aren't taught that they're to be in relationships where their actual feelings are validated. Men are taught that when they're in relationships, that their actual feelings are not validated. And people may say, well, what are you talking about? Anytime a man actually expresses his emotions or how he's feeling or how people or how what you're doing affects him or how he is being treated, how is he labeled? He's labeled as soft, simp, he's being overly emotional, he's in his feelings. These are the labels that we give to men who express themselves in a vulnerable state as to, hey, this is what I'm not getting. And men know, unless there's a major fucking problem, I'm talking about major problem, right? When you vocalize to a woman, right? And let's just be honest, a lot of women, not all, a lot, most, I would say a lot, not even most, a lot of women never had to take criticism in their relationships because even in dating, men are typically telling women everything they want to fucking hear. So a lot of times there's an illusion factor to when it comes to relationships, especially in the first couple months, because women are told whatever they want to hear because most dudes are just trying to trick off or they're trying to just sleep with them. So when a man
you're being fake. You're not being who you are.
When she said faking the funk.
Exactly.
That's why we talk about faking the funk. Right. Okay. But when a man actually goes to a woman and is like, yo, what you're doing and holding you accountable or whatever, guess what? If you got 3 other niggas in your DMs that's telling you how great you are, you ain't going to be listening to the dude at home that's going to be telling you that you need to change and fix something. So guess what? Especially because and this is my rule of 3.
Wait.
That they have. What happened?
I just want you to differentiate when you say that, and I also have more to say too. But in this point that you're making, I would like you to differentiate when you're saying if you have 3 other dudes in your DM telling you how great you are, as
on average. I'm not saying every. I said on average, not every dude. Like we talk about.
That's fine. Well, listen. I just want you to differentiate when she said the woman has X amount of dudes telling her how great she is.
Yeah, we talk about food. We have food dude. We have work husband. Basically, these are.
Let me finish the point, TJ.
Oh, I thought you were done. Go ahead.
No, I wasn't. I want you to be concise in that conversation where she's doing the 3 dudes that's telling her everything versus the one guy who she's with. I think you should probably specify at what point in the relationship are they. The reason I say is because yes, if there's one dude that she just started dating a couple of months ago, right? And as you know, yes, if you guys are still in the honeymoon phase, but if she's with a dude for a year or so, I think it's fair that woman would listen to the dude that she's been with for a year as opposed to the new dudes telling her how great she is. Do you agree with that or do you not agree with that?
I disagree because I think that I would say most women. I think most women, right? And we're talking about, and there's an age component to this as well, right? There's an age component. We're talking 20. Let's just talk about the 25 to 45 demographic, right? That's a good little chunk sample size, right? Mm-hmm. So when I say most women, they know that even if they're in a relationship, there are dudes who on a periodic basis that they know that are in their DMs, whether they're entertaining them or not. There are dudes in their DMs in this day and age of social media that is, good morning, queen, tell them how great, oh, damn girl, you look bad, liking photos, comments under stuff. Like, so what I'm talking about, when you're having people, we just talked about fake friends and people praising you, when you're having people telling you on a daily basis, right, how great you are and you're this and, oh, I can do this for you as your man, and or yo, I want to take you out, whatever. It's very difficult. And if you're feeding into that, it's very difficult for a relationship where you're like, yo, you need to change, you need to fix things. If everybody's telling you that you're great, then you're not going to think that you need to actually fix things in the relationship. And so a lot of times when I talk about men expressing themselves, these are the hesitations that men have of like, yo, I'm really like, I could say something, but I'm going to just let it rock because me expressing myself is going to cause more problems. So yes, I agree.
That's not being real.
Men do shut down in order for them to because we can't be real. A lot of men can't be real in relationships.
And a lot of women can't be real. And a lot of women can't be real too.
Wait.
Okay,
Jesse, I'm about to kick it to you.
Yo, she's hitting me up in my nose and everything. Watch your hands, man.
No. Jesse, I'm gonna kick it to you in a second. But TJ, to the point that you're making, do you feel that if a man is saying that he doesn't want to express himself because of what other options that a woman may have, do you feel like that is a form of insecurity on the man's part?
No, it's not. Okay, so it's not just about, oh, she got other options, so I better bite my tongue. It's like we do risk, I don't know what do they call it, cost risk analysis. It's like, is what I'm bringing up worth sometimes you have very long conversations. Sometimes you'll have strife or whatever, where you bringing something up is going to cause multiple problems rather than men just learning how to, I'm gonna just go ahead and just deal with it internally. And men internalize a lot of things.
Okay.
Right? And this happens because, and I would just say this happens when in couples and relationships where you don't develop these tools early, or you don't go to therapy, or you don't have
things. Hold on. Pause. That's a rabbit hole. Jesse.
Yes.
Please.
I was writing down some stuff because I didn't want to forget.
I know. Defend your gender. Essentially what he was saying in regards to that limbo of let's just say I'm sorry?
She's writing briefs over there.
Yeah. I was gonna say, no. Just go ahead and let us know how open you feel you are to criticism. How open is your gender to criticism?
Well, first of all, if you want to jump on that, which I can't elaborate, I'm very open to criticism. And everything I do in life, I'm very open to criticism, whether it's in my relationships, my friendships, my work life, whatever. I'm very open to criticism because that's how you learn. You can't think that you know it all because you don't. Okay, number one. Number two, what you said, TJ, about how, early in the relationship, like people are showing, if you're doing something one way in the beginning of the relationship, then all of a sudden you switch up, that's revealing who you really are. Like, don't do something in the beginning of the relationship, then all of a sudden you switch up. And then expect your partner, no, let me finish. And then expect your partner not to be upset. This is not who you showed me you were. So now that you're showing me who you really are, like this is fake. Or this is real. You were fake, and now you're showing me who you really are. And you can't be mad at me that I expect what you were showing me in the beginning, because that's what I liked, right? That's what I felt for. So now you're showing me something different. Like, what type of energy do you expect to get? What, I don't understand that. That was number two. Number three.
No, let her hit number three.
Number three, you said something about how like women can't, or what did you say about women giving advice or being criticized or whatever? Women can't take criticism. That's what you said. What did I write here? I said a lot of women can't be real because of what a guy might say to her. You're saying that guys can't be real because of what it's gonna make them appear to be soft or whatever. And how does it when a woman is constantly telling you how she feels about something and you're not changing? And what are you gonna look at her as? Oh, she's nagging me, she's annoying, or she's this, she's that. You know what I'm saying? But then that's gonna shut her down. Now she's not gonna want to express herself. So it works both ways. So at the end of the day, it depends on who you are with and the type of person that they are. Because a real person is going to let you express yourself. A real person is going to let you be vulnerable around them despite how you feel. At the end of the day, I don't want somebody being fake with me, or you're not gonna tell me how you really feel because you don't know how I'm gonna take it. That's being fake. Because at the end of the day, you feel the way you feel. No matter how you say it or don't say it, you still feel that way. So why not open your mouth and be real about it, despite how your person's gonna feel? If they can't take that criticism, then that's on them. But at the end of the day, you were yourself 100%. You told them what it is, and you didn't sugarcoat shit. And me, that's the type of person I want. I don't want somebody lying to me. I don't want somebody trying to like, oh, I want to protect like her feelings, so I'm not gonna tell her what it really is. No, don't do that. Like, be real with me. Be real with me because I'm going to be real with you. That's what I'm saying. You can't say that, whatever. I mean, I get what you're saying. Like, men feel like they're going to be called like simps and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, then you're with the wrong person. You're with the wrong person. That's how I see it.
Okay, so wait, before we go forward.
I got a problem with the judge. Now, next week is going to be me and the judge. Because this I'm being cut off from really having, you just let her have this monologue. And I'm being cut off. But go ahead, Judge. Go ahead.
Listen, I want to know. I want to acknowledge first, before we go back and forth. I want to acknowledge the advancement that we made in thus far, because this conversation started as women. There's only a problem in a relationship when a woman is unhappy and not a man. Initially, you guys, just because you guys wanted to, you guys are in war mode. But honestly, I want you guys to realize that you have both agreed with that point. I want you guys to acknowledge that. You both have ended up agreeing that a relationship is generally only in dire unrest or on the brink when a woman is unhappy as opposed to a man is unhappy.
No, I did not say that. I did not say that.
Yes, you just say. I'm gonna tell you what you did.
Yes,
you
said it. Go ahead.
You agreed, and then you said the reasoning. So we've moved past the first point. I just want you guys to know that.
No. I want you to tell. I want you to tell me how I said. Excuse me, TJ. I want you to tell me how I said that relationship is in jeopardy when a woman is unhappy and not when a man is unhappy. How did I say that?
You said that the reason is because a woman will say XYZ and a man will not say XYZ. You agreed to that.
No. That was to the point of criticism.
Whoa, now you're disagreeing with the judge.
I didn't. Yes, because the judge is misinterpreting what I said.
That was cool.
That was in regards to criticism. That was not in regards to if a relationship is in jeopardy. No, a man can be unhappy and the relationship can still be in jeopardy. I don't understand how. What do you mean how?
No. Well, listen. What happens more often?
When a man is unhappy, he cheats. When a woman is unhappy, he divorces and then she leaves.
But is the relationship in jeopardy from a man's perspective? Is he going to break up with you or is he going to cheat in your eyes? Because that was your rebuttal. You said it's because he's going to cheat as opposed to break up.
As opposed to leave it. 9 times out of 10, he will cheat instead of leave. But that's still putting the relationship. But that's still putting the relationship in jeopardy. Is it not?
I'm talking about in regards to like breaking up, like the finalization. And your rebuttal was it's because he's going to cheat instead of break up.
Yeah.
I think I'm not saying that's right or wrong. Can I just say That's because Jesse has a skewed version and she doesn't understand or comprehend the reasons why men actually cheat or what is classified as cheating. Right.
Now, also, TJ, before you, I'm gonna let you.
Because that's what's gonna make my point. I mean, I won my mother has a saying about being wrong. You could be wrong and strong, right? And Jesse she's really great at that. Because I mean, clearly she's throwing haymakers, and it looks like TJ's taking a beating. But I'm here, and I'm just being calm and patient, in my
whatever.
But TJ, before you go into this
shirt.
Before you go into this, why men cheat?
And I'm always being cut off by the rep. I'm almost thinking that me and Jesse could just have
because you didn't let me finish. I'm trying to warn you. You cut me off. I was saying before you go into your diatribe about why men cheat, I just wanted to let you know that you started this whole thing as saying, no, this is not why men cheat. But if you want to explain yourself about why men cheat,
I'm gonna because here's the thing. When the relationship, if we're talking, okay, let's frame it. If we're talking about when the relationship is over, right? Like over, the relationship is in jeopardy if a woman is not happy, right? Men are taught to reset themselves, right? TJ, what do you mean by reset, right? If they're not happy about a certain thing, a man is probably not going to leave. In order for him to actually leave, that means he's like, yo, this is drama. It's fucked up. I'm done. Right? However, what Jesse classifies as men cheating, a man can, and you're not going to like what I got to say, so please brace yourself. A man can sleep and be in a relationship, right? And some men can sleep with a woman and that not mean a damn thing. It can be, it's just ornamental, not functional. They can be in a relationship, sleep with a woman, and it be just that. This is the point I was making last week, where a man can cheat and say, she has a physical part. She got a big ass. She got big boobs. She has this or whatever, interacted with her. And they'll be like, oh, I'll go sleep with her. And that be it. Right? It's like sports fishing. They can go out, sports fish, take a picture with it, sleep with it, whatever, and then be like, all right, whatever, that's done. And then go back to their relationship and be like, yo, whatever I was feeling, whatever, it wasn't even all that or whatever. I'm good with my relationship. And sleep comfortable. When a woman cheats, it ain't like that. It ain't on some wham bam, thank you, ma'am. I just got some dick, and then I could go back and it's up on a consistent basis. There's no you being in a relationship with a dude and then having consistent side dick on the side, and the relationship is still the same as if nothing ever happened. There's no glitches. With a woman is cheating because she is filling a void, right? She is filling a void as to what is not happening in a relationship. That's why a lot of work husbands cheat.
Most of the time, but that's not in all of the cases. That's not in all cases.
I said most. I didn't say all of the cases.
No, well, not in all cases. Hold on.
Okay.
Time out.
I said a woman, because women cheat with a more of an emotional connection. Women are sensual, nurturing, emotional beings. That's not.
Yeah, but not all women are the same.
Okay, wait. Time out for both of y'all. First off, number one rule of debating is a quote that I have: nothing is everything. So understand that we are dealing with the higher percentage. Just say, I also want you to remember that you did kind of elaborate on the point that TJ is making now last week in regards to the whole void thing. Yes. So I don't want you to dig yourself.
That's what I said. No, I know. I said it.
I want to know that y'all agree more than y'all disagree.
I remember that I said I'm not speaking for all women, because yes, some women do cheat, like when they feel neglected, they feel a void, like you said, but not all women are like that. I know of women who have cheated and it was nothing. It was just like, it was just in a moment. I know women who have done that and they don't have no feelings. You don't think there's a majority of women that are like that? There are women who will cheat because they feel neglected or they feel a void or whatever. And there's other women who will cheat just to cheat. It could be to get back at somebody, or it could be like, oh, I was drunk and I just did it. There's so many different types of ways, just like guys will cheat. And DJ, please stop with the bullshit. Like, a guy can cheat and it could be nothing. But yeah, I'm not even going to get into that topic, because a guy can cheat. No, because a guy can cheat and it can absolutely mean something. It can absolutely mean something.
Like with his baby mom this time.
Baby moms, or it could be anybody. It could be anybody, but a guy can cheat and it could turn into something. Like you're trying to say that, oh, a guy can cheat and it can mean nothing, but a woman can't do the same thing. And I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. And I feel like there's some guys who can cheat and have an emotional attachment, just like you're saying women can cheat and have an emotional attachment. It depends on who the person is.
Here's my point. If a guy is cheating because there's an emotional attachment to the person he's cheating, then that girl who he's with in the relationship, her days are numbered.
That what?
Her days are numbered, meaning he's going to leave you, right?
Okay, because and the relationship is at jeopardy.
This goes back to my point about men and their vulnerability, right? And I'm so glad that I said, just lobbed it up and set this up. Men in there, we talked about the women and filling the void and stuff like that. Men are not typically opening up and having these emotional connections with just everybody because we're not wired that way, and society doesn't allow us to be that way. But if we do end up cheating with someone on a consistent basis, where we're almost like having a second relationship where there's a emotional type of connection, then 9 times out of 10, unless he's lying, and that's another thing, like if the one who he's with it doesn't know about it and he's sneaking around doing this and he has an emotional connection with the person he's cheating with, your days are fucking numbered because he's actually going to leave. That's when a man when a man feels an emotional connection to another woman, that is a telltale sign of the relationship is almost fucking over. But when a woman is filling these voids or whatever, she's going to express herself. She's going to say, we need to fix this. We need to talk. We need to do this. Y'all talked about going on vacations and stuff like that. She's going to go through a whole thing. And then when a woman makes up her mind that, hey, this relationship is not working, she is not going to break up with the dude right away. Women she's going to find another connection, or she's going to solicit those people as a break glass in case of emergency dude in the DMs or messages in order for her to be like, yo, I'm done with you. And I at least have something to hold me over as far as whether it's emotionally or, we talk about the Build-A-Bear dude. Where like Frankenstein. No, let me make this point.
Enough.
Yeah, but she will voice how she feels. Like she will tell you how she feels. A guy will not do that. Like he'll just shut down. Like you won't even. You're telling me you're telling me you're getting an emotional attachment to another woman, but you're not expressing to your lady how you feel. But a woman will tell you over and over and over and over again how she feels, and you still won't rectify anything, and then be surprised if she
because men actually communicate, and this is what we talk about. Then my rule of comprehension is more important than communication, right? Because you can communicate with a wall, and if the wall is not going to comprehend you. You could communicate with a person, but they don't understand you. You're not going to be able to communicate. For instance, I had to learn in my past relationships, right, where you can love someone to the fullest of your capacity, but the love that you are giving that person, it may be 100% for you, but based upon how that person comprehends what love is, it could be 10% to that person, where they feel like that person is not really doing enough. So instead of loving someone, just saying, yo, I just love her, so this is how I love, you have to learn how that other person loves. That's what people talk about, love language. You have to also, communication, you have to understand how someone comprehends things. So you may think, as a man, he ain't tell me nothing. But men say things by their actions or do things not in a verbal type of way. We give context clues. There may be, and it's up to, and that's in the beginning of a relationship, of understanding how someone communicates and comprehending that person.
So a couple of things. First off,
I'm killing Jesse. Look, I feel sorry. I mean, she's still like, you're doing okay, Jesse.
I'm not gonna lie. I one thing I will say that what TJ is saying in regards to context clues, I am a big stickler, and I really diss women for doing that, because and just not to be a hypocrite, I'll say do not context clue me. I am not a detective. I'm not a mind reader.
Yes, speak where it's told.
If you're not gonna tell me what's going on, don't expect me to. I'm only know what I'm told. So,
but that also your investment in the person, because if you really don't give a shit,
no.
you ain't trying to more context.
In the piggyback off of that, TJ, I'll ask you as a man and myself as a man, and both of you guys. Sorry, Jesse, whether you agree or not, you agreed that generally a full relationship is more fragile when a woman is verbally discontent as opposed to a man. And I think we all agree that generally men are less verbally discontent for whatever reasons. But to kind of like bring that together, TJ, do you feel that we have to take responsibility for that fact that a relationship is more fragile when a woman is noticeably and vocally discontent because we refuse to be that way? And I don't want to go into the why we're that way, but don't you feel like we have to take some sort of precedent of prioritizing ourselves in that relationship?
We do, but that's only when you develop it. And I would say, because I'll keep it brief because I know we have some other things and we're going to wrap, but like that, we do have to take accountability to make sure that our needs are being met. And sometimes men are sacrificing peace for happiness.
You can't have peace. You can't have happiness.
Are you really happy are you really at peace if you are not happy?
No, and I'm saying, look, if this goes, and remember when I was talking about available, unavailable, there are a lot of people, and I'm sorry to say it for people who are on my Facebook or whatever, people that I know, there are a lot of people who are in relationships who aren't really fucking happy. I myself am not built that way. I can't be in a relationship where I am just not happy and there's not reciprocity, right? Because that's what we're really looking for is reciprocity, that give and take. It's not tit for tat, but give and take. Like, hey, I'm your partner, you're my partner, we're a fucking team. But there are a lot of people and a lot of dudes who just get along and go along, allow their girl to just do whatever, and they may not like what they do, say, whatever, post whatever. And then they go out and they creep because they're like, look, it's better to have, because, and I will say this, to your point. There are men that do that because some men, you have men that don't want to be alone, and whatever this woman is providing in other areas, it's not worth fucking up the entire damn thing. So if it's like, yo, all right, it's not, when I say the entire damn thing, it's not worth fucking up the entire relationship if she does XYZ for me and she does this for me and we actually have good times at this point, whatever. So we will tend to just kind of recalibrate, and men do that a lot in relationships. Men do that after they court a woman and they go through the stage of faking the funk on the first 2 to 3 months of, oh yeah, yo, I'm gonna take you to dinner, we're gonna do this, blah 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 blah. Everybody's putting their best foot forward. So men and women, you don't really know, and plus I believe that you don't really know who a person is until they're really upset. That's when you kind of understand who that person can really be. I'm sorry, did you agree with me? I just wanted to. I'm
just a little curious. Are you justifying cheating in a man, like if he's, let me see, if he's unhappy, like if, say, okay, I have an example, right? Saying that I have an example.
Okay.
Say you have a girl, and this can go both ways. You have a guy, whatever, and they do everything, they do everything that you want, everything that you like, whatever, but once in a while, or maybe more than once in a while, they do something that you don't like. Like it could be something like, I don't know, they annoy you. I don't know, just throwing it out there because I can't think of a specific example. Mm-hmm. But other than that percentage, they do everything that they're supposed to do, everything when it comes to a relationship. But because they do this one thing that annoys you, and you find someone else who doesn't do it, so you start to attract yourself to them, and now you want to like whatever with them. You think that's justified?
I will say it like this: if I go to a restaurant and I'm like, yo, I'm gonna order the steak and potatoes, and the server's like, bet, steak and potatoes, I got you, coming right up. and then they come to my table with a side salad. I may eat the side salad. I like side salad. It's cool. And then I'm like, yo, when's the steak and potatoes gonna come? And then they bring out, they're like, yo, we got these rolls, and we also have this chicken parmesan Italian dish. They bring that to the table, and I'm like, I'm hungry, so yeah, I'll eat that, and I'll eat the rolls, whatever. But what I really ordered was this steak and potatoes. If you keep giving me everything else except for what I desire, what I really need, or talk about necessity, right? If I need certain things and you just keep giving me 80% of all these things that are great, I'm still going to be like, yo, I never got what I ordered. And so if you look at it in that way, one, you're going to give the restaurant a bad review. Be like, yeah, the service, the decor, everything was great. Some of the food options were great, but what I really wanted wasn't there. And what you're going to end up doing is you're going to go to a restaurant that's actually going to, whatever you ordered or whatever you require, they're actually going to give you the great service. Because
so then vocalize that you want steak and potatoes and not a fucking side salad, and then maybe you'll get some steak and potatoes. If you're not vocalizing that you want steak and potatoes, she's not going to know that you want steak and potatoes.
What I'm saying in this analogy is women, sometimes when men communicate and they say certain things, right? Like for me, communication is big. I need honesty, I need reciprocity, whatever. You can be the person that takes, takes care of the house, does the domestic stuff, be like, yo, I'll support you in your dreams or your goals or whatever. But the things that are triggering you or the things internally that you need in order for you to be, in a solidified relationship, if that is lacking, it doesn't really matter what you're doing, because it depends on what you put the value on. You may value that 80% of, look at all the different things that I'm doing. But if the dude is like, yo, that 20% is like 90% to me. You see what I'm saying?
And vice versa. I agree with you. And that's vice versa. Man. But it's all about how you communicate and how the other person takes it. And like you said, comprehends it. I understand that.
Disagree with I understand that. What we disagree with, what we disagree with is the idea of a man cheating, right? If a man steps out, like there are
this is closing statements, by the way, just to let y'all know.
Yeah, no. If a man's
this is closing statements.
It is.
Yes, because we got to roll.
I didn't get to close.
You are gonna
no. I said statements. Both of y'all getting closing statements. This is TJ's closing statement, and you'll go next.
You see that right there. We were communicating something to just say, but she heard what she wanted to hear. She was like, "Oh, statements, huh? Oh, I ain't get to close." You see what I'm saying? Now I felt Alan. I saw Alan's sadness. He felt like he had to shut down and minimize himself in order for Jesse to be heard. But listen, I will just say this in closing. When it comes to men cheat for different reasons than what women cheat. And 9 times out of 10, it's not because of any void or emotional reason, right? A dude, even let's just say sex-wise, a dude, if the sex ain't bomb in a relationship, like a dude is not gonna 9 times out of 10, like he may go out and get that gratification with somebody else, but still stay with a woman. If a woman is like, oh, his dick's small and the sex ain't that great, she's probably not gonna stay with you. So it's just different reasons. It's just different reasons. I'm just letting you know.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
I'm saying most. If there are certain things that you require that aren't being met, you do have the propensity to stray away. But men and women stray away for different reasons. But we're not going to act like, and this is where the double standard thing comes in, that women and men are on the same wavelength. Like we just do the same things. And as far as majority, we're not wired that way. And that's my closest statement. You are more than welcome to have the last.
Jesse, your closing statement.
I'm gonna stop this episode. I'm gonna write everything down, and then I'm going to say what I really feel, because me, I can't think like this. But just on spot, my closing argument on spot is this: at the end of the day, the person that you're with is your person. That's your partner. That's the person you confide in. That's the person that you love. That's the person that you tell your secrets to, that you're vulnerable with. Okay, that's your person. If you can't be your true, authentic self with the person that you are with, then that's probably not the person for you. And if you feel like you need to go step out on someone that you supposedly love, then maybe you don't really love them, and maybe you shouldn't lie to yourself. Like, be real with yourself and stop justifying why people cheat. Like, And, you know, like I said, too, because I said in the last episode why women cheat. And TJ, you saying why men cheat. I guess everybody has their reasons why they cheat. But at the end of the day, your person is not going to do you like that. Someone who truly loves you is not going to do you like that. And like, I get it. Like, sometimes people slip up. There's things that happen in life and whatever, you know, sometimes it happens, whatever. And, you know, you learn from it and they never do it again. But if you have somebody in your life who's continually doing that to you, that's not your person, because your person will never do that to you. And TJ, you can't sit here and tell me that men can do it one way, but women can't do it that same exact way, because no, women can do it for the same exact reasons that men do it. And men can do it for the same exact reasons that women do it. It all depends on who you are as an individual and what you're going through in that relationship. So that's all I have to say on that.
So, wow.
We will definitely have to have another conversation, because and this is another podcast for another episode, so this will be to be continued, because I'm of the belief, if a man tells a woman that he cheated on her, then he don't really love her. Because
if he tells her,
wrapping up. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. No.
All right.
Nope.
All right, Alan, let's do it. Hit it. I'm gonna give Alan the more. Let's get the moral of the story.
First off, we would like to thank both of our participants, Jess A and TJ. Now, just because I never want her to feel neglected, we're gonna do this more of the story, but I am gonna start with Jess A. Jess A, please tell us your moral of the story for today. It doesn't have to be about the topic. It doesn't have to be about anything.
Go ahead.
No. You know, we're gonna zoom through the. Listen, talk to us, Jess.
Go ahead, Jess.
You always put this thing on me. I'm never ready. Moral of the story is.
Outfit looks great.
Whatever. Thank you. Moral of the story is to keep only real people around you. You do not need anybody around you who is faking the funk. And if you have anybody in your circle who is fake, you don't need that type of energy, especially if you keep it real. And if you really care about your friends, you care about your person, keep it real with them. Even if it's gonna hurt them, it's better to be real than to be fake. So at the end of the day, stop faking the funk and just be real. I think that's my moral of the story. Just be real.
Okay. We appreciate you, Jesse. And for the adversary, the opponents for the evening.
How did I get demoted? Just like, look, I'm just taking over the fucking show. He's like, I'm just
for the I feel like it's important for both of y'all to go back to back in this head-to-head clash. So, TJ, what is your moral of the story?
Listen, I watch and listen to a lot of podcasts, and one podcast I particularly listen to has a saying of, if you're not being real, you're being fake, and you're not being your authentic self. So I'm going to, in that same breath, say this to anybody. Look, if you got people, whether it's around you in your circle, or whether you have, or family members or friends or whatever, or business associates, people can only fake the funk for so long before they expose themselves. So sometimes you really don't need to say too much of anything. You just need to just let things happen and play out, because the real will rise to the top and the fake will eventually expose themselves. And it's up to you to decide how you are going to move and dictate, in the future and who you want to have around you. So I definitely agree with Jesse. If you can't have people that's going to be yes people, and you also can't have people that aren't being authentic, aren't being real, aren't communicating, and don't comprehend you. So you don't need that energy. So my thing is this: be your authentic self, and let the fakes expose themselves, and then keep it pushing. That's my moral of the story.
Yep.
Alan, what's your moral of the story, sir?
Listen, first off, I wanted to say thank you to my co-host tonight for participating and giving us that fiery back and forth. To the audience, I did the best I could refereeing, but sometimes, the passion and the love over spills and overjoys. I don't have nothing profound to say for the moral of the story. I just wanted to give my co-hosts a break since they've been talking for the majority of the last hour. I didn't want to put that pressure on them. For me, you know what it is. Wash your hands, cover your face. That Rona Delta is running around here crazy, and you don't want it to catch you. Peace and love. Certified Lover Boy out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Kanye out right now. If you need
Drake paid us. Why are we promoting this album? So I mean, God.
I mean, listen,
good content.
When the big dogs come through, sometimes you gotta recognize it. I'm up all night. Y'all know. Well, if some of y'all people know, some of y'all don't. I work overnight, so I'll be up at 12 o'clock anyway. And shout out to Little Man and Jesse's. And shout
out to my shirt coming in right on time. This shirt, I've been waiting for this Kane the Conqueror shirt forever.
Before we go, who is that? I have no idea who that is.
He's a villain in a comic book with the Avengers and Marvel and stuff like that. Real dope. Y'all probably see him more in the MCU or whatever. I'm getting my blurredness going on here on the soapbox. But yeah, so last week it was Captain America. This week is Kane the Conqueror. We'll see what we got next week. But yeah, my wardrobe is all over the place. So, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Before we go, I just wanted to, of course, subscribe, and I just wanted to shout out our other co-host, Miss Giovanni. We'll see you next week.
And shout out to Soapbox Nation in the comment section.
Gang.
From Lisa, from Amanda to my man. What was my man's Devron? Like, yo, appreciate y'all. I know Devron was like, woo, because Just Say was out here, just giving that heat. It was a lot to take in, but we appreciate each and every one of y'all, people that support. We appreciate not only the people that come on the Soapbox as guest contributors and people that respect our platform, but we also appreciate all of our listeners and the people that watch our videos, subscribe, all that good stuff. So thank you so much. So with that being said, for Giovanni, for Jesse, for Alan York, this is TJ Legacy, Kane the Conqueror. Yo, we are out. Peace.
Anyway, tell them what we talking about.